Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and those that have been with me for a while. And we're going to be doing another crafty fun session. And today, as I talked about the other day when I did the train tickets, I wanted to do some kind of a vintage airline ticket. So let me just show you what I have here. So I have a Tim Holtz photo booth that I picked out. I'm trying not to get you too much glare. I made a little luggage ticket here using some stamps. And I also made a little tag here that says immigration officer. I have some of those stamps. And I have put some acetate, clear acetate here. And then inside here, I've got this metal clip at the top holding this on. I've covered this in map, vintage map that I have. And I also stitched around it. It's kind of hard to see the stitching right now. But this is what it looks like. And you can't really see, kind of see the stitching there. But I have stitched all the way around it, and then I stitched all around this window. I've added some alcohol ink in the color Latte, which is this one. And then this is from chapter 3. This is a specimen card that I turned into an ID tag for the gal. This is her ticket. And then I found another Etsy shop. I'll link it in there. I know it starts with Ziggy and I can't remember the rest, but they had some cool vintage style tickets with airplanes on them. And so I've used just a file folder and I've covered it front and back, 2 different ones. Done some stamping here and here, and did some distressing on both sides of these little tags. This one as well. And then I covered the back with some coffee dye paper, and yeah, that's it. So I thought we would make one. So I've pulled some stuff together to try to make it easier and quicker so it doesn't go too long. So let me just put this back together. And in the holes, I've just added some larger eyelets that I have. They were a little bit bigger than what I can normally use with my crocodile, with the hole punch from the crocodile. So I just use a pencil to open it up. But these were actually big enough. They're not as tight as I would like them, but they're okay. So let's make this. So what I made this envelope part out of is actually an envelope. So I just have a white envelope here. And I'm probably going to be using some of what I've already made as some ideas of cutting down and stuff, because it's been a little bit, this has been a couple day project. So I kind of need to remember what I did here. So we are going to, I'm just going to hold this up here to this so I kind of know where to cut. I think that just makes it so much easier, and then that way I'm not too long on here. So we're going to cut there and there. So let me get my paper trimmer. And we're just going to cut this down. Just inside the pencil marks that I made, and then that way it should be the right size. Oops, get that off. And then here. Let's see, I want to think about this. Okay, because I want to put a window in it, so I'm going to turn it this way. So that's perfect. So this is my top. This is this top part here, and then this part we will eventually seal up, but I am going to open it up because I do want to stitch around it. So we got that so far. So let me move on. So the first thing I want to do is open up this back part. And I'm going to cover it with coffee dyed paper anyway, so it's going to be okay if it doesn't pull apart perfectly. And then we're going to also stitch it. So let me just open it up. And then what I want to do is cut this window. But before I do that, I want to cover it with some map. So I have some more of the same map. This one was for Canada. So I'm just going to be using some of the pieces off of here. So all I'm going to do is glue it down on here and cut it. And that will make it easier to do that part. So I'm just going to add art glitter glue all around edges. And again, I will be stitching this. Let's see, let me turn this around. And then I'm just going to lay this on here as even as I can. Press it down. And then I'll just trim off the excess. I actually could cover the whole other side if I wanted to. So opening, now the opening is on this side. Never mind, we will cover it with coffee dye paper later. Okay. Okay, so we've got that. Now that that's on there, I'm going to go ahead and cut the hole. And I've used just a rectangle die. And this is a nesting set. So there was multiple of them. And I'm going to just give it a little border like I did on the other one. So probably about like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that die cut, and then I will be right back. Okay, I have cut my rectangle hole in the center. And I have just a scrap piece that I don't really like all of this on there, but I have some more map. So I want to cut another piece to go on the inside here. And what I did was on this one is I just cut it down to here, because when the tag is in here, you're not going to see it. But I did want it almost to the edge here. So I'm going to cut another piece a little bit larger. And let's see, what do we have here? Just use a piece of this. So let me see here. We will cut it about there and below here. So about to there. So let me get my paper trimmer. And let's quickly cut this. Make sure I know where my lines are. I don't know if you have the same problem, but there are times when I don't know. Where did I put the line? Ah! Okay. I guess it would help if I have this the right way. I'm feeling out of sorts here. Okay, so I'll line that up. I'll just cut us a piece. The rest of this away. And then we'll cut this piece. And that will go on the inside. That will give us something that's nice to look at when the tag is not in there. So, okay, so we've got Alaska in there. Perfect. Okay, so that will get glued in there. And what else? Okay, so I also want to do a piece of coffee dye paper for the back. So I'm going to this is just something that was printed on coffee dye on one side. This side it had some print. But I'm just going to glue this on here as well. and then we'll trim that. So let me just line that up as best I can. Press that down. Close my glue up so it doesn't get stuck on me. And then I'm just going to trim around this. I feel good trying to use some of my scraps that I have in this bin above me. So whenever I need a piece of coffee dye or just a piece of scrap of any kind, I'm going into the scrap bucket. I used to have it in a drawer. I never got out and used it. So this way they're right in front of me now. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and glue this on the inside as well. So we'll do that. And then I'll do the stitching off camera. Let's glue this down. There. So there's the envelope, front and back. And we'll do some distressing as well. Now, the next thing I want to do is go ahead and work on the alcohol ink. So the only thing I did on this was just kind of figure out where I wanted to put some alcohol ink, and then I just kind of put it down here just to give it just a little bit of vintagey kind of look. And I want to go ahead and do that and let that dry. So let me put some of this on here. Just do that, and then I'll just kind of spread it around a little bit, give it just kind of a vintage, nothing, you know, no rhyme or reason, just something so that when it's under here, kind of gives it a vintagey look. So that's all I'm going to do on that. And on the small piece, I'm going to just kind of lay it over this photo that I'm going to use and just put just a little bit, just kind of around the edge, just to give it a little vintagey look. And let me just dot that around, and that's going to be it. Oh, I got some on my map there. Okay, so I'm just going to set those both aside and let them just dry. Grab a wipe here, clean that up. The alcohol ink doesn't come off very well, but at least I'm not going to get it on my project. All right, so we'll let those dry. So now let's work on this, because I do want to do some stitching on this. So if you see this one, I have stitched around it. So I'm going to go ahead and distress this up. So I'm just using a sanding disc, and I'm just going to go around and distress the whole thing, being careful because these sides and top are pretty fragile because they're not very wide. So I want to be careful. Some of those edges a little bit extra. And then I want to fold this, make sure I get it in the right spot. And let me use my bone folder for this. Make sure I get it lined up. It's kind of heavy paper because this is that craft paper that you can sand from Tim Holtz. And so it's just a little bit stiff. So I just want to make sure I get it in the right spot. And again, I'll be stitching, but I want to make sure it's going to be in the right spot. So just clean that up. So we've got that. And it's still not even. Let's see if I can manipulate it a little bit. Okay, well, by the time we put the brads in and everything, it should be okay. So what I want to go ahead and do now is let's, I have another piece that I want to put the photo on. Because when you put it inside here, it's going to have a little bit of showing on the sides. So let me just, let's see, and let's come down this way so I can see where I want it. Okay, that should do pretty good. Let me just move it up a tad. Okay, so I'm going to glue this on here, and then I can trim some of the top. Just make sure I get it straight. Okay, so now let's put it in here and let's see where we need to trim. Okay, so I'm going to trim just above the photo here. Let's see if that's going to work okay, because I want to make sure it doesn't peek out the top. Okay, that should be perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and glue in our piece of the acetate. So I've got that here. I'm just going to go ahead and just carefully glue it on in a couple of places because I am going to stitch it. I don't want too much. I don't want it oozing into the photo, so just enough to just hold it on there. Like that. Okay, so that's good. Now let me just dress the edges of this. Get a little sand here. And a little bit on the photo here and there. The other one I kind of wrinkled up a little bit. I thought, well, this one I'll just add some scratches to it, just make it look older. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and use some ground espresso oxide distress ink and go around all the edges around the photo and across the photo as well. Give it a little bit of a more vintage look. And then I'm also going to go ahead and go around all of this. Just give it a little bit of a distress. Okay, good. All right, now keep hoping I can get this lined up. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our photo in. And I'm going to trim just a tad of this acetate. It's peeking out a little bit. Okay, so got that. Now I want to glue the photo in and then I want to stitch. So let me do that. I'm just going to put the glue on the back. And then I'll reline it up exactly where I want it so it's even on both sides. So like that. Let me press that down. And I'm going to just add just a little bit of glue on the sides just till I can get it stitched. So just to kind of hold it in place, and then I can get it positioned right. The paper being a little bit stronger makes it a little harder to get it all positioned in place. So I'm just going to hold this down for a couple seconds, and then it's just being stubborn. Let me add a couple of clips to this just to hold it in place. That's all I really need it for. So we'll just let that sit for a minute. And now on this, let me close up my ink again. I mean my glue, not my ink. Well, actually my ink too, probably. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and distress all around the envelope. Just like that. And I didn't use any, I could have used a window envelope, and I tried to use a window one, but I just couldn't get what where I wanted it to be placed and where I wanted the ticket to show. I couldn't get it right, so I just decided to just make my own. But if you have something that has a window that works for you in an envelope, then absolutely, by all means, use that. I'm also going to do the inside edges because that is probably going to peek out a little bit. So I want to do that. And almost there. Okay, so let's see. I want to do this inside here just a little bit more. Okay, so this is going to get stitched as well. Oh, let's do the back. I forgot. Let's do the back. Get that all done. And then what I'm going to do is we'll work on the ticket and the small tags, and then I'll go off camera and I will stitch all of this and then come back and we'll finish up. That way I'm not wasting too much of your time to get through this project. And let's see, while we're at it, I want to add this in here as well so that I can stitch that on. So let's open it up and just add a little bit of glue. I think here I got space, a little bit of here, and then just a little bit on the sides. Hopefully just enough to hold it in place. Not sure which side I actually put the alcohol ink on. Okay, so let me just hold that down for a few seconds. Let that grab hold so that when I stitch on there, it will grab all of it. Okay. So we've got that. All right. One of the things that I wanted to do is work on the tags. Okay. So I just used some tags that I had, and I just cut them down. So what I'm going to do is just trim them down a little bit. And let me see what length I have on these. So we're looking at about 3 3/4 by 1 5/8 or 1 3/4 would be fine as well too. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and these are like 2 3/8, so I'm just going to trim a little off and then get it to where it's like about 1 5/8. I want to make it as even as I can. Sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. This paper cutter is just a little large. That's okay. Okay, I think I need to do a little bit more. So we'll do a little bit more on this side. And then we'll finish it up. Let's see. How are we doing? Well, actually, that's pretty good. So now, let's see, what did I say lengthwise? I said, so like 3 3/4, just under 3 3/4. So right about there. And then I'll just cut the little ends again to make it look like a tag, just like that. So that one's done. Get rid of all my pieces here. And then the second one is smaller. So we're just going to hold it up here because I want to put it right over the hole so that it's even. And we'll cut it down that way. There. And right there. Let's see how we did. I think we're pretty close. A little wide. This side needs to come off a little bit more so it's even. So right about, turn this around so I can see better. A little bit more. Okay. And if it's a little smaller or larger, oh no, that's perfect. Lengthwise, what did I do? Okay. Right there. Okay. Again, I will just cut the corners. This is much smaller. I should be able to do it. Okay, so we've got that. And then the only thing I did was we'll distress them and then we'll stamp them. Let's see, and I didn't use the strings, so these can come off. So let me just distress. I'm still using ground espresso. So I'll do this, both sides. If you have your own smaller tags, by all means use those. I just had this size and just cut them down. And you can even cut them from other paper, whatever you want. You could even use the file folder that we're going to be using next to create the tag. So yeah, there's lots of options. Lots of options that you can use. Use whatever you have. And as far as the stamps, and you know, if you don't have those same stamps or you don't have the same digitals, just do some that you have. Okay, I am going to go ahead and use Vintage Photo Oxide, and we're just going to use this splatter stamp and just give it some splatters. Let's see. I'm going to do that on both sides. Always add something, just adding this. And let me turn this one over. Let's do the same thing. See, I just add something a little bit more vintagey to it. All right, so we've got that. Oh, let's go ahead while we're at it. And I'm going to use this other splatter stamp and just put some of these on here while we're at it before we do our stamping. The stamping I'm going to use VersaFine, and I'm going to use Fallen Leaves. I think that one's perfect for this. Let's see, while we're at it, let's go ahead and add some to this so I don't have to try and figure out how to do it later. Okay, perfect. Oh, how about the inside? Why not? Okay, that's done. All right, so this one we're going to use, I have this stamp set that I just got, and it's an inexpensive stamp set that I just got from Amazon. And it has all of these, and this one says London Immigration Officer. But there's airmail on here and other tickets and stuff on here. So just received that the other day. So let me get this and my stamp set, or my stamp, not my stamp set. And we're going to put this on here. Okay, so we've got the immigration, and that's all done. And then on this one is where I used some of Tim Holtz, and some of it is correspondence, I believe, and some of it is eccentric. And I'm just going to be stamping some stuff on here, so just to make it fun. You can use whatever you want to. Oops. Okay. And we'll put this in here. And then I just used a number for a check number. Yeah, I'm just going to grab a number. Doesn't have to be the same one. Just add that there. And then I had this airplane. Thought it was fitting. I think that's the one from Correspondence. I think that's what it's called. And we'll just put this guy right here. And then I just used a longer number. What do I have here? Let's see. See if I have a longer number that I can put on that. Actually, how about this bigger one? Just do it a little different. They all don't have to be exactly the same. That's the beauty of the crafting. So, different styles. So we'll just put this one right there. So ticket serial number. Okay, so that's done. This is done. This is ready to stitch. This is ready to stitch. So now let's work on the ticket. So the ticket I printed on matte photo paper. And so all I'm going to do is cut this out. And they both look about the same size. So all I did was cut them out, and then I'm going to use just a manila folder. I had some used ones that I'm using, some that I've had a while, just whatever you have. And you don't even have to have a file folder. You can just use vanilla cardstock color or whatever color you want. And you can make a tab on it. So you can use an envelope punch board, or you can just cut your own, however you want to do it. There's multiple ways that you can do it. And I want to get this one done too, because this one is also going to be stitched. And then we can come in and do the final process on this. Oh, my table is a mess. Okay, so all I did was, doesn't matter, whichever side you want, open this up, and I kind of want it, this one, the tab's in the middle, the other one, the tab's at the top, and I kind of want it at the top. So I'm just going to glue this on right here, and then I'm going to cut it out and glue the other side. And then we'll just tweak it here and there where it needs to be tweaked with scissors, and then we're going to ink it up. So let's put this one right about there. Press that down. And then I'm going to cut this out. I found this to be the easiest way if you want to back something. And I wanted this to have cardstock backing. And I also wanted the tab, which is why I'm using a vanilla file folder. And you can use any color if you have other colors. Yeah. Whatever you like, that's what I would do. So we'll finish this up, and then I'm going to glue the other side on, and then we'll see how it matched up pretty good. So we'll glue this on. And again, I'm stitching around this as well. Let's make sure I got this upright. I've done that before too. So I want to come in this way, because if I got to make any cutting and changes, I definitely want to do it on this other side. Yeah, because one is just a tad bigger than the other one. And that's okay. We'll just trim it down. Okay. So just trim around and make them even. Where there's a will, there's a way. And also here. Okay, so now we've got that. So get rid of this trash. And again, I'm going to use ground espresso, and we're going to just ink around the whole thing. Hide anything that might be peeking through of the vanilla color. And we're going to do both sides. Whoops! Glue's trying to run away. Okay, now let's do the back side. And it's going to hide anything that you don't want showing. Okay, perfect. And before I stitch around it, I'm going to go ahead and let's get some stamping on this one as well. So basically what I did is just I added some numbers, and I added, yeah, just a couple things on here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I have the stamps all out ready to go, so I'm just going to use the same ones to make it easier and quicker. I'm just going to alternate it. Put this one on the front and the other on the back. So they'll just be a little different that way. So let's see. See, what did I put? Claim check. What did I do with claim check? It's got to be around here somewhere. Oh. Well, we'll just use something else. Let's just use the same number. Probably got buried under something, so we'll just keep moving. I try not to keep the videos too long. I try to do some of the stuff off camera so that they don't go too long. Got that, and we'll use this. Again, telephone. Telephone number. Got your number on there. Okay, perfect. All right, so now this is ready to be stitched, and this is ready to be stitched, and this is ready to be stitched. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do all the stitching, and then I'll be right back and we'll finish it up. Okay, I have stitched all around. Probably see it kind of. It's a lighter thread, so it's kind of hard to see, but I have stitched all the way around, and then also here. And then here I have stitched all around here, and then all around here. And so now I'm going to just glue the bottom shut. Just add some glue down there. And let me just add a little bit of distressing here and there. Just give it a little distressing. And then this goes inside here. So just tuck that right in like that. And now this, I have a piece of leather. So I'm going to staple this right onto the left side so it'll come out here. And that's what we did. Oops, that's what I did on this one. So I'm going to get my stapler. This leather is kind of thick. It's real leather, so, and it's got a pattern on it. I thought it looked really cool. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to glue this on here as a pocket because this is going to tuck inside here. Oh, I guess I have it upside down. Oh well, I'm going to move on. And then this is going to go right here. We're going to do some eyelets. Now, I almost think about making another one and putting it this way. You know, I could just cover that up. Let me just do that. Why not? Actually, it's probably easier just for me to cut another one, distress it up. I want it going the right way. And I didn't pay attention to that when I was doing this. So let's just quickly cut and stamp another one and make sure we get it right this time. A lot of things on junk journals you can let go, but this one is going to bug me until I do it right. So I'm going to do it right. So just distress it again and make sure it's going to be going the right way when I stamp it. So I want it to be right side up. So I'm going to quickly stamp and then let it dry. And then that way I will make sure that I have it the right way. So let's see. Grab this. Put this back on here. So I want it going this way. So that it's right side up. Okay. Yes. Okay, let that dry a little bit. And we can move on. We'll come back and do some of the final distressing on it as well. Before I glue this on, I have 4 tiny little brads that I want to put in each of the corners. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to distress it up again. So tiny holes They're already marked here, so easy to follow on this Chapter 3 die set. And this is just the specimen slide. That's all I'm using. Then I'll add these. And I am going to have to trim off some of the legs on these because they will kind of peek out. So I just have a little bit, just a tiny little bit there. You can't even see it probably, but just a tiny little bit that needs to be trimmed off. I wanted to get the smallest ones I had. No, legs were just a little bit too long, but that's okay. We can still work with it. Okay. 2 more. Oops. Let's get that one on straight. Didn't get it very straight. There we go. Push that down. And one more. They're so tiny, hard to work with. So I'm just going to use my little cutters here and just cut off a little of the excess, whatever is peeking out. Okay. There. Oops. I think this is the one that was wonky. Just trim that down. Push it back down. And a little tiny bit on this one. Not much. Push that down. Okay, so we've got the brads on. Now I'm going to just put glue on 3 sides, and then this will be our pocket. So I'm going to glue here, here, and here. And oops, staple didn't hold. Didn't go through the whole thing. Let me quickly fix that before we glue this on. Let me re-staple that. So that goes over here. Let me make sure I'm capturing it all this time. I think I just got one side and not the other. So I want to make sure I get on here, get it in the right spot. I think I got it. Kind of. Let me just, it's okay. I'm going to add another one kind of on the crossways. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now let me glue this down. And I'll put that right about here. And I'm just going to press that down. And then our tag will go right in there. And this should be dry. So let me just make sure that this is on here good. And close this up again. Have a bad habit of leaving my glue open. I'm trying to get better at it. Okay, so let's see. Let's get this Distress Oxide again. And our splatter stamp. We'll just add a little bit there. And on the back again. And then also some splatters. Okay, now we're back together again. All right. Now we're the right way. So I'll go on here like that. Okay, so I have a couple of eyelets, and I'm going to use these bigger ones. So let's do 2, and then I want one more. Yeah. Okay. My crocodile, I'm using the large setting, and I want to put one here. I'm going to lose the one, but that's okay, but I don't want to catch the threads, so I'm being careful. So I'll put one here, and it's going to look fine once we get it on. Okay. And then I'm just going to put these one on each one of these tags. Again, the holes are much larger on this, so they may not crimp completely, but we'll get them as tight as we can. Okay, so we've got that on, we've got this on, we've got this. This will go in here, just like that. This can go in here, and you can add something on there if you want to. And then I have a bulb pin somewhere here, hiding. And we're going to attach this guy into this hole. So like that. And then one last thing. I used one of these metal clips again. These are index clips, and they're from 49 and Market metal index clips. Now these are the antique brass, and these are more of the antique kind of silver. I just got these, but in case you're looking for them, that's what these are. And then this, we will just put on over the whole thing, and that holds it all together, just like that. And on the back, coffee dye paper. We've got the stamping here. We've got our immigration officer tag here, our luggage ticket. Take this off, and we have our ticket. A very vintage plane ticket on a very old plane. Okay, I think that's it. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think I did. I think we did it. Okay, so I hope you guys give this a try. This was a lot of fun. Again, I will link the Etsy shop where I did get these vintage train tickets that we did the other day, and the airplane ones. They're quite large, so what I did do was print 2 on a page, and I made sure they were I did a portrait, so because they would be like a full page. So I just want to make sure you know about that. And yeah, so here's our tickets. Let's get the other one put back together since I've had it apart. So they just go in here like that, and immigration tag there, and our metal clip. And we have, let's see, we should name these. We have, let's see, Jessica and Jessie. Let's just do that. Jessica and Jessie. And they're ready to go on a trip to wherever they're going. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys have fun with this, and I hope you give it a try. I would love to see it if you do. So I always put my Instagram on there. I always put my Facebook. You can tag me there anytime you want to. You can comment on the video and let me know. Yeah. So I hope you guys give this a try, and we'll be back. I'll be back on Monday with something new. It's going to be the same Crafty Fun sessions. This week was tickets. The week before was ID tags. And I think I'm going to do something postal next week. So I hope you join me, and you guys all have a great weekend. God bless you all and take care. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.